Alright guys, so welcome back to Gamer Today. Today we're going to be talking about a game called Hyperscape. Yeah, it's kind of a weird name for a game, but we're going to talk about why that is. And Hyperscape is a Battle Royale game, a free-to-play Battle Royale game at that, with a bit of a story, more so than Fortnite at least, and a pretty good one at that. Well, it's just a basic cutscene trailer kind of thing before you play the game, and it's kind of cool. We get this dystopian future with this idea that basically we did something wrong that caused our future to become a horrible place to be, and essentially the geeks, the nerds, the hackers, they all basically made this virtual reality essentially, which is like a way to escape this horrible place they really live in the real world, which is basically like cyber escaping, which is kind of funny because the name is Cyberscape. So yeah, I get the idea of why they call it that. Now you do too. But guys, that's the story. What about the actual gameplay? Yeah, the gameplay is where this game kind of goes downhill fast. The story is great. I honestly like the story, okay? For what it's worth, this is my kind of story. The gameplay itself is not very great. Well, what's wrong with the gameplay, you said? Well, we're going to talk about that throughout the video, so stay tuned. But one thing I do want to talk about, guys, is when you first come into the game, you can actually try out all the weapons, all the different things in the game that you can do. These things called hacks, which are basically special abilities that you can do. You can hold 2 of them at a time, and then all the guns that you can get and all the hacks, which are these abilities, you can level them up through playing the game by collecting more of the same thing. So essentially, if you collect a shotgun, to make that shotgun stronger, you have to collect more of that shotgun. And I believe you can repeat the process 4 to 5 times to basically level the gun up all the way to the maximum level. Same for the hacks. Basically, every time you level up a gun or a hack, it changes something about it. In some ways, it's like Fortnite in the sense that you get a more rare version of that gun, but at the same time, not really, because not every gun gets stronger with the better variant. They actually just have a better magazine size, faster shooting speed or something, and then also more damage. I don't know all of the factors involved, but I do know not every gun gets stronger, and that's kind of disappointing, and I'll tell you why in this game. Because guess what, guys? When you shoot someone in this game in the head, they do not die. You have to shoot them many times all over the body until they die. This game takes a long time to kill any player, and not just because the guns aren't very effective, which yes, they really are not very effective. Some guns, the sniper rifle, I can't remember the name of it, but the one sniper rifle is great, and that gun does great damage. If you get him 3 times, you will kill a player. That's awesome. Or shoot him twice, so if you get 2 headshots, they are dead. That's crazy, that's great. Or if you have a shotgun and you get real close and you can shoot them in the head like twice, you kill them, most likely, like 2 or 3 times, if your shotgun is leveled up enough. But the base level shotgun will not kill them, even with headshots. You really need to work your way up to find out what guns work for you, and that's a little irritating. And now let's talk about the big reason why that's irritating. This game's traversal system, the way the players move across the map and how they get from point A to point B, it's a big problem, and I'll tell you why. It sounds cool, right, to be able to run, jump, and go off buildings and go way high in the sky and bounce off these launch pads, basically, if you will. They're like bounce pads, I don't know, they bounce you way up in the air. This sounds pretty cool, right? And everyone's like, oh, that's great, that reminds me of Quake. And it is like Quake, but the only difference is when you try to shoot at people, in Quake, they weren't hiding behind different buildings, going into this building, that building, this building, that building. It wasn't overwhelming like this. This is insane. Players can get away from you so easy, and every time you shoot at a player, you need to shoot them quite a lot before you can kill them. Which leads most battles to being a third-party fest, and also just a run-around game of hide-and-go-seek with your team, or if you're playing solos, it's a real nuisance. Honestly, it's super annoying. The next thing is finding where players are at. It's kind of hard. And why is it hard? Because the footsteps don't matter, guys. You probably won't really hear players' footsteps. You will and you will not. It's very hard to hear. If you're playing with a good headset, you might be able to hear it, but that's not the big focus, guys. When a player sprints, colors go from their body, basically, at their feet. You see colors, and then when they jump, they also produce like neon colors as well, so you can see them on the course a lot faster. The easiest way to be undetected is by not sprinting or not jumping, which takes away the whole fun of the game. So if you don't move, you don't get detected, unless someone has a reveal ability, which is a hack. I know it's a reveal hack, but a reveal ability. That can basically make players who, if they like point in a certain direction and then press their ability, they can see players that are nearby, and you might get basically seen. And that ability is pretty cool if used properly, and all the abilities are pretty darn cool. The one ability that drives me the most nuts is probably the, teleport one, because it really doesn't teleport you very far. It's kind of dumb, and honestly, the ball. The ball is stupid because a player is very hard to shoot when they're in a ball, and they get like defense, okay? So like a little metal ball, and you bounce around in it. And it's kind of cool because you can knock other players around with it, but it won't really do any damage to them or nothing. It'll just knock them out the way. And that sounds okay, not a big deal, right? But you can stay in it for a very, very long time, even with the most basic version of the ball, meaning you haven't leveled it up or nothing. you're in it for a very long time unless someone gets a lot of shots on you. If they shoot the heck out of your ball, you will get knocked out of the ball early, and then you'll have to find a place to hide or shoot back at them. Yeah, I know it sounds like, well, that's pretty balanced. It's not. In fact, the ball might be the most overpowered thing in this game altogether because it's so annoying and it's really hard to shoot at, and that's really a big problem right there. Not to mention you can get out of trouble no problem at all with the ball if you know what you're doing, and it also gets you out of the storm too, which we have not yet talked about. But we're going to get to that very shortly, guys, but I do want to talk about one more thing. Shooting these guns is not satisfying. The guns in this game don't feel very fun to use. Now, I have no problem with how the guns look. The guns look okay, but the actual usability of them and the fun that you have while using them is pretty low. They're okay. I mean, if you go into this expecting something like Fortnite or even Call of Duty, style of guns, or even Apex Legends, it's not. It's a little bit like Quake meets Overwatch with very poor weapons, and I will admit it doesn't really feel very fun to play. Now, guys, let's start talking about that storm and how this all works. There's no storm in this game, guys. It really is kind of weird to explain. There's like sectors. Now, these sectors do close down over time, and you're going to be very confused early game, especially the first couple times you play, on where the heck you need to go. It's not so obvious, and really it's not. Even after you've been playing for hours, it gets a little confusing sometimes. Should I go this way or that way? You don't know. And the reason why you don't is the game has a hard time telling you this. The map in the game is complete trash, and it also, just like figuring out where to go because everything looks the same is also very difficult. Almost every place I go in this game kind of reminds me of the same place I just left, so therefore it's kind of hard to know where you're going to. And again, it's not like Fortnite where one thing's drastically different than the next, so you're going to be like, oh, well, I need to go to the farm now, or oh, I need to go to this city or that city. It's really tricky and everything looks very similar, and that's why this game's going to fail altogether. Battle Royale players like to have iconic maps and unique places to go so they can keep the game interesting, and that's something this game doesn't have. It quite, fails in all regards, to be honest with you. Gunplay is not very satisfying, not very fun. Traversal may be somewhat fun at first, but again gets really annoying. And again, traversal's moving around, jumping around, bouncing off buildings, and you have to kind of get used to like scaling the buildings by finding little edges that you can jump off of, and then do your double jump to another ledge until you eventually get to the top, which is fun at first, but again, it's super tedious, super annoying, and when you're being shot at by 3 or 4 different players, it can be quite hard to do these jumps, and very, very annoying. And surviving the storm or basically outrunning this, like, I don't know, decaying world, which is basically what's going on, like the world's decaying, like, it's very difficult to do because it's kind of hard to know where to go, and then you have very small amounts of time to get there, with like 20 players shooting at you at all times, and it gets very, very annoying because you really don't know what direction to go, and it takes you a while. And when you play squads, it's a little easier because usually there's someone on the team who knows which way to go, but again, it's like there's just a little indicator to tell you where to run to, and it's hard to see, and if you're not looking directly in the same direction as the indicator, you won't even know. You pull up the map, and the map is super confusing. I don't even know what to tell you. I couldn't even really understand the map myself. I don't know. There's these little events within the game as well, guys. It's like your cooldown abilities are much lowered and stuff like that. Like, okay, now your abilities are lowest, now you can keep using your abilities as much as you want, and that kind of leads to a spam fest. Now everyone's in a bowl, everyone's teleporting, everyone's invisible, everyone's running around the field like crazy people, so a lot of players get killed during this time period very heavily, and everyone gets real close to each other and starts battling it out real fast. So this game can be quite long or quite short depending on how like the different events go on. Not every game has the cooldown event, not every game has the same events in general. Like sometimes there's supply crate events, everything's an event in this game. I don't know what to tell you. It's very unique to your specific game, meaning you might not have the same experience every time, which is good, guys. You wouldn't want the same events in every game, because with these cooldown ability events, which are by far the most substantial event in the game when you actually play, because again it becomes a spam fest, you'd have a lot of players just waiting it out and hoping for the best and saying, oh well, I know at this particular time in the game I can use my abilities as much as I want, so all I'm going to do is just keep leveling it up and getting the best ability mods, basically making my cooldowns even lower so I can just spam infinitely during this cooldown time. And people aren't doing that. They're waiting for that and they're hoping for that so they can basically take advantage of you. And that's what this game has become. It's just a spam fest. It's third party. It's as annoying as it gets. If you guys have a problem with third party in something like Call of Duty or even Apex Legends or Fortnite, this game is going to take that to a whole new level and make you rage and probably break something, if you care enough to even care if you win in this game, because I don't. But anyways, guys, one thing I do want to tell you guys is when you die, the idea is you basically become the scout for your team, so you end up basically telling them where other enemies are, where different items are, the supply chests and all that. So when you play squads, this game can be a little hectic because you can be revived infinitely. As long as your team survives, you can basically keep getting revived. All there needs to be is one player who gets killed. Every time like a player gets killed in the game, they leave like a spawn point basically, so you gotta just wait until someone dies, and then you go to where their corpse was, or their body, their dead body, which is no longer there. It'll leave like a little triangle on the floor, and then you can basically wait for your team to come over and revive you at that spot location. It's weird, it's stupid. I mean, yeah, it makes you feel cool the first couple times you do it, but after a while you're just like, oh god, should I just exit to the lobby? Then you feel bad because the other teammates might need your help, and you're like, you know they're not going to survive anyway, what's the point? Anyways, guys, so when you do come into the game of, you know, Cyber, whatever the heck this is called, Hyperscape, okay? It looks cool at first, I will admit, it's interesting with these little pod systems, but then you kind of miss Fortnite, you kind of miss Apex Legends, you kind of miss everything, Call of Duty. Just not having very much control of where you're going in this game is kind of the thing that irritates me. Once you do pick a location, when you get too close to the location, it kind of like holds your hand and says, okay, you can kind of go slightly like left or right, you can slightly go forward or backwards, and then it kind of like just drops you down. And I feel like that gives you no attachment to the location you just went. You feel like you have no control exactly of where you're going to land. Like in Fortnite, you can go anywhere you want and you know how to land any specific spot of the map you want to do. Now, you might misstep once in a while, you might go to the wrong place on accident, or you might drop down into a place you didn't mean to exactly drop and you kind of got screwed early game because of it. Like, that's going to happen, okay? You know, it happens to everybody, but the more you play the game, you get better. In this game, it doesn't really make a difference because the game doesn't allow you to have that sort of control, and it's kind of annoying. It makes me feel like disattached and, you know, like not really into the game. Now, one more thing we need to talk about with this game, and I know a lot of other reviewers have said good things about it, but I want to tell you guys something I have an opinion of, which is that there's not enough guns in the game, there's not enough mods or hacks or abilities or whatever, and I don't mean that there's not enough variety of these things. There are, but what I'm problematic with is the fact that there's not enough of them when I get into a game. Finding those guns and things early game can be challenging. In the first couple games I went through, I had a very difficult time, and I thought, wow, this sucks. I mean, this is really boring. I'm like, why is there no guns? Why is there no this? You have to go into certain locations that aren't very obvious, and anything with that like yellow thing, like with glass that you have to shoot or break into, those are usually locations, if not guaranteed locations, that you'll find some sort of weapon or a mod or whatever, but it took me forever to figure that out, and I didn't like it. I like chests, I like those kind of things. This is just dumb. But yeah, that's just my opinion of the game. I will say, I think this game's going to flop and fail hard, and I think it's already doing that, okay, to be honest with you. It's been available on the PC for about a month now, I think, with the open beta platform thing. I don't know if you had to pre-register or something to get this, I have no idea. It's now free to play on the consoles, and it's done okay in its first day, but obviously viewers are dropping off fast. No one cares about it anymore. It's kind of getting boring. I know that we're going to see more people playing this game throughout the week, and probably the next week, but this game's going to flop hard. Now, why do I think that? The Battle Pass system is lame, and the leveling up is horrible. What do I mean? Well, the Battle Pass looks like it gives you a lot of free stuff if you don't pay for the Battle Pass. It looks like it, right? But, here's the big caveat. If you don't buy the Battle Pass, you level up very slowly, to the point where I played about 15 games, okay, 15 games, guys, and I leveled up to Tier 2. Let me sink that in for you. Tier 2 with 15 games. Do you realize how many games that is to get to level 2? So you don't get anything for free until level 3, and yeah, you see my point. And I know they give a lot of free stuff away in this game, they really do. The Battle Pass is giving way more free stuff than even Apex Legends or anything like Fortnite and all that, so it looks very generous, and I was like, how is this going to work? How are they going to get people to buy the Battle Pass if they keep giving all this stuff away for free? Well, gotta read the fine print. If you don't buy the Battle Pass, you level up at a very slow rate, and that slow rate is like way slow. I mean, hecka slow. Hecka slow. That's a word, right? No, it's not. But hecka slow is what we're gonna say, okay? You level up so slow that, I mean, 15 games to get to Tier 2. 15 games, and I probably got maybe in those 15 games about 8 kills altogether. 8 kills, 15 games, I leveled up to level 2. Yeah. This game is going to flop hard, and I mean it really very hard. It's probably already on its way down already as we see this, because nobody's going to care about this game. Nobody. Unless you buy the Battle Pass, this game isn't going to be fun for you. And I don't think it's even fun without the Battle Pass. Honestly, the idea of these like skins and stuff that are in the game are lame. The free ones actually look better than the paid ones, which confused me at first before I read the fine print and realized it's a gimmick to make you want to buy the dang Battle Pass to get those free things. Instead of the paid ones, the ones that are actually like the Battle Pass, like you already have to own it to get, they want you to just get that for XP. They want you to get that Battle Pass so you don't feel like the game is such a grind. It's worse than Warframe in that regard, in the fact that they want you to like grind more than anything. I don't see myself playing any more of this game, to be honest with you guys. If this video does well on the channel and a lot of people really want me to continue trying to play this game and get better at it and make you guys videos and stuff, which I could do. I could do that, but I don't want to. The reason for it is I find it boring. When you die, it's so tediously annoying. I hate having to go around and find someone who's just died died and find their body and then, you know, get myself over there so I can get revived. It's just, oh my god. I can't say anything really that great about this game. I don't know why anyone would play this past like a few hours. Maybe it's fun for a little bit. If you have some good friends, they can probably make this game more fun for you, but running around, shooting at someone and having them run away from you and then try to find them again, only to get third-partied by some other team or a bunch of other players, you know, if you're playing solos, it's not fun. That's all I got to say about that. But anyways, guys, hopefully you did enjoy the video. And if you did, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know in the comment section down below, what do you guys think of Cyberscape? I want to cyber escape this game myself. I want to escape this game. It stinks. I don't like it. It's garbage to me. What do you guys think in the comment section down below? Let me know. I'm very curious. Until next time, guys, it's been Gamer Today.